point, right?
No, now
How
you
do I
really don't because we're live. You
how
have
do I
no
look?
choice. You look fine. You look all festive in your red.
All right. Episode 383 of the show radio. Daniela, how are you?
I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, can't be
Don't
with
do
them.
that. Don't. Don't.
It's a very good feeling. It's like it's sad because it is our last one for 2017, but at the same time, it's
Okay.
really good because I think we had a very good, solid year, and to be ending on this note is it's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so 383. Oh man. All right. I gotta shake this off. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta shake it off. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the show radio. It's episode 383 of the show radio. I'm your host, Andrew.
Hi guys, I'm Danny.
And this is your source for tech, gaming, and entertainment news. Head over to theshowradio.info. Once again, that's theshowradio.info. And check out our past shows. While you're there, subscribe and tell a friend about the show. The show's on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Play, and all those places where you can find podcasts. And we are live right now on Twitch, episode 383. This is the last one for the year. I'm a little sad by that, a little bit. But yeah, Daniela, what is going on, Daniela?
A lot. I have my family visiting. We've been doing a lot, but in this past week, let's see, went to go watch Star Wars: The Last Jedi. We went out to Luau. We watched some Christmas parades. We did a lot. Did a lot. And it's been a great. It's a great start off to my Christmas break. Even though I'm gonna miss you, I am.
I I'm going to miss you a lot. This is sad. So I'm working through this whole thing, okay? And I know you've been doing a lot of family stuff, which is amazing. That's cool. And we're really what 7 days away, 7 8 days away from Christmas, which is absolutely fantastic. So I'm excited about that. But it's been a great year for the both of us, and I've enjoyed building with you this platform. And anyway, whatever. I gotta stop.
You're gonna be
So
all weepy eyed
so
there. You
we're
can't
here.
be weepy eyed. I
Yeah,
don't have any
I'm gonna
tissues
get all
around
weepy.
here. I
I'm
have
gonna
no
get all weepy.
tissues.
I'm gonna get all weepy, and I don't want to get weepy. But definitely a lot to talk about. Episode 383. Guys, gals, children of all ages. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for listening to us. It's always appreciated, and we look forward to doing more shows in the near future. A couple of things that we definitely want to talk about in this particular episode. Some stuff with Alexa skills. Definitely, Danielle is going to talk about Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Give some impressions about that. I did finish Punisher in like 2 days, which is absolutely amazing. So definitely going to talk a little bit about that. A year in review, what we liked this year, what we didn't like, different thoughts. Straight off the cuff, we're going to talk a bit about that. I'm going to amend the giveaway update. Some things will change, something will not change, and also last but not least, the game of the year conversation for the both of us. And that's pretty much the show lineup for episode 383. Any past archives, any past shows, you can find that at theshowradio.info. And Daniela, initial thoughts before we go into it.
Just it's bittersweet. It's been an amazing year.
Absolutely, absolutely agree with that. So first things first. Let's talk about what you've been playing. Let's do that first.
Almost nothing.
why,
That's
why
like
not?
that's like the balance is that as much as I love playing video games, like when you have friends and family visiting, it's like you almost don't get to play anything. But I guess that's more of like I haven't been streaming anything that we've been playing. We started playing Hidden Agenda, which is on the PlayStation, and it's a game that I can't really stream. I mean, I can, but like my friends and family understand my streaming, but I also have to be respectful that they don't necessarily want, perfect strangers essentially watching them. And you're also
Okay,
taking away from that family bonding moment where it's supposed to be like pretty much we haven't been touching our phones unless we absolutely have to because we're spending time together that we don't normally get to do. So, Hidden Agenda has so far been a lot of fun. It's been very, very interesting because it's played on the PlayLink, the PlayStation PlayLink, which is a free app that you download with the associated game, and the controller is basically your phone. And so it has like these questions in between chapters or sequences where like, oh, who is the most trustworthy? Who is the most dangerous? Who's the most loyal person? And you're choosing it, and you can't really tell who's voting for who really. So among the friends that you're playing, we're finding out all of these different things that, for the most part, we know what our each other's answers are going to be because a lot of us have been friends for like 12 to 17 years. But it's always is between either me or my best friend, and most of the time, like the most loyal will answer for each other, the most honest will answer each other. So it's kind of like the game is like only us two when there's like four or five of us. But it's a very interesting game. It's like playing Until Dawn with a group of friends, and it's a very interesting storyline. But if I had to give this game a review, even though we're not done, I kind of want to just give it a 2 out of 5 because it's just really the cuts and how it's edited. It's so weird and bizarre that it's even hard for us to follow along. And you have four adults that are like trying to pay attention to this storyline, and we're confused. But other than that, let's see what else. I think that's kind of all I've been playing. It's been a lot
Okay.
of board games, really, if anything. If you're ever looking for card games, I do highly suggest looking up Flux, Flux. It's a really fun, quick game that it lasts anywhere from 5 minutes to an hour, and it's every time you play, it's always different because you have rules and goals that change throughout the game. So it's a really great family friendly game for like I have my goddaughters playing and stuff, and they get to be a part of it, to my son, to us who are like 30 something year olds. It's just a lot of fun. But that's kind of all we've been playing lately.
Okay. No PUBG at all. No Fortnite.
No, nope. I
Okay.
think the last time I played Fortnite was like last Tuesday.
All right. Okay. All right. So it's been, I guess it's been a combination of different games for me. Uh, Definitely a good amount of Street Fighter Five, which is very strange to me. Because for a while I put down the game and just didn't play it at all. And I've been doing a lot of casual matches online, which is a mixed bag of getting beat up really, really bad and getting a couple of streaks in between. Right, which
Hmm.
is really Street Fighter in a nutshell. So I've been playing a little bit of that, and definitely Destiny 2. I've been playing a little bit about, been playing that, and the changes are making the game a little bit more pleasant, and even some of the things that Zur had this week, which we can definitely talk about how they're structuring that whole experience a little bit later. But definitely Destiny, a puzzle fighter on a mobile, which is a Street Fighter Tetris like game. So I've been checking that out as well. So it's been a mixture of a couple of things. Not as much as not a lot of paladins lately. I kind of took a little break off the paladins, and we did talk about Monster Hunter in the last episode, which is 382. So that's pretty much what's happening with games right now.
A lot more than mine. I've tried the Puzzle Fighter game and I like it. It's really cute, but I don't know what it is when you have that puzzle Tetris thing. I always end up like accidentally dropping it too quickly so often. It like kind of frustrates me because I'm like, I didn't do that. I just wanted to just flip it around.
So you're
And
flipping it down. You're flicking down quickly.
I guess
Maybe.
so. I'm not too sure what it is that I'm doing wrong that I keep just like just having it just drop down incredibly quickly when my entire touches is just to tap it once. Please just rotate. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, I think you're probably flicking down pretty quickly and not realizing it.
So
Maybe.
frustrating.
It's frustrating. But definitely a lot of stuff going on in the news, and recapping the year is going to be interesting. And I may do some tangents here and there, especially with the way the year has been for just the governmental stuff, and even the hashtags, women, and just a whole bunch of different things that I've been thinking about, as we round out the year. But I'll definitely jump into those things, if it calls for it, depending on how I'm thinking about it and structuring it in my mind. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on a few of those things, for sure, and how I felt about it, which is a conversation I recently had with you. I definitely want to share, um, you know, somewhat that conversation, as it relates to the women and how they're treated, or how they're supposed to be treated, and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
Fair enough, fair enough. So a couple of things in technology I definitely wanted to highlight. Alexa's skill now has reached 25,000. I guess that's 25,000 unique things that you can do with Alexa. And I think that, according to the article that I was looking at, that's kind of slowed down as far as the growth and gaps, because things are happening so quickly. Now it's kind of slowed down, or is reaching a tipping point, if you want to say that. We did see, also, the FCC killed net neutrality, and I guess we can start with those two. Daniela, what's up?
That that sucked. The whole net neutrality and how that voting went. I mean, I know it's not the end. I believe Congress has, what was it, 60 days from the 14th to really either make that actual happen and cement it in stone, or hopefully listen to their constituents and listen to what we have to say. And the thing is like the more I thought about it, it's like it's far more than just net neutrality. When you have majority of the people, like I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but it's very obvious that the majority is against you know all of this happening, and you don't have your people listening to you, listening to the majority. It almost makes you feel like your voice doesn't have as much of an impact as it should. And it can be a little bit discouraging, but you right now, I mean, just because you feel that way, it doesn't mean that you should stop calling your congressman or writing or doing a friendly protest, not an angry one, but a friendly protest to show where you stand. And I hope that, in these next 2 months, or just under 2 months, that it goes in our favor, because it is our freedom, and I think it is our right to have the internet fully available to us. And it's starting to feel like it's one of our last freedoms. And I know that's an incredibly overdramatic thing to say, but that's how I feel. I mean, I was lucky enough to grow up in an age where the information is at my fingertips, unlimited, and it helped me grow to learn who I am, to who I want to be, and it's given me a platform to voice my concerns and my opinions, and to have it, like, my son might not have that same opportunity, that same option, that same privilege. That's just, it's heartbreaking in a way.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting to see that whole thing play out. Even I was talking to a buddy of mine earlier that week, and he was like, "You know what? It's right now. It looks like it's going to be 3-2, once they vote, and if they do vote, it's just going to be what it is once, the date shows up." And pretty much that's how it played out. And just looking at the things that can change, how it affect us, and Netflix is supporting net neutrality for what it is, and I think they had, a couple of not emails, but tweets going out that there were a good amount of states that were getting ready to, I guess, sue, for, you know, for the case, to make a case for it or whatever. As you were saying, with the amount of days that are available for those things to take place. So seeing that whole thing happen is very, very interesting, and I just can't remember. I mean, maybe a little bit of dial up here and there, but I really can't remember us, um, having a difficulty to access the internet, in one way, shape, or form. And that's going to be interesting to see, if, and I hope it doesn't, but we have to pay $5 for this. $10 for that for additional services, social media packages, which is not necessarily a something foreign for other countries and territories because some places do that now, but that's just weird. Especially I'm already paying almost $80 a month for the internet, and it's a pretty decent package, for what I get as far as speed is concerned. It's enough for what I need, but to think that even now the Optimum Online is charging me $5 a month for the equipment. So now I have to go buy the modem so I could waive that $5. They can't even waive it unless I give them their equipment back. So I have to deal with that, and then from there decide if I want to downgrade my plan to something that I could still manage the stuff that I do here, which I don't think that's going to be a major issue. So just I have to think about a whole bunch of other things to make sure that um, I'm not inconvenienced in my internet access as well as the way, I use it on a regular basis. So um, that's an interesting conversation right now.
It is, and I think it's gonna be a very interesting way to start off 2018 in those first 2 months and where that goes and what happens. Because like you're saying, I pay $65 for my Spectrum internet, and it's just internet. That's it. I don't have cable. I pay for Netflix and Hulu. Um, but I only have one internet service provider here. That's it. So it's kind of frightening to think that just because that is our only provider, that they can price it however way they feel. And that will affect how I do business and how I work, how my son does work. I don't really want to break it down. And it's like, yeah, other countries have their way of doing it. But I think I was reading an article in Portugal, like they have to, like, you have people and customers that have to like buy several different packages, or if they have cell phone providers, they have two different SIM cards because one allows them to access this app that the other doesn't, and they need both of them. Like that
Right.
is such a pain. It's such an inconvenience, and it's completely unnecessary and ridiculous. Um, I don't even know what I'm going to do if it ever comes down to that. I mean, a lot of people who don't really care one way or the other, and they don't see it as a bad idea. Like it doesn't click in my head. I don't understand how there's this one person, I won't say who they are, but they're on my Twitter timeline, and they were saying that they don't mind, paying a few extra dollars for some premium service to access, some sites that they regularly visit, and it's faster. I'm like, yeah, but nobody has extra money to be able to access content faster. Like that's just ridiculous. Like that's completely selfish in my head, that you're not thinking about the majority, you're just thinking about yourself. Not everybody has that luxury. And in this day and age, like I think there like I saw several other people who kind of felt that way. There's like, well, if they can't afford the internet, they shouldn't have it. Well, in this day and age, a lot of people that are, they don't necessarily can't afford the internet. It's more of like it is a luxury, but they're trying to find jobs so they can afford these luxuries. But most jobs only take applications online. What are you going to do when you can't access that?
All right. That's crazy.
So it's like a vicious cycle. It's like they need it. It's like it's not everybody needs to spend their time watching YouTube or anything like that. You don't have to watch Twitch, but there's people who go to school. There's people who do online schooling. There's people who obviously need to apply for jobs. It is almost a necessity for a lot of people, and it's not just for pleasure. And I feel like that will hinder and affect people intensely on that level.
Yeah, it's crazy because I'm even thinking now, Hulu, Netflix, that's $10 right there if they were to do it like that, right?
Yeah,
And if you add
Netflix
another,
is increasing their prices too.
yeah, I think it's 10.99 now or something like that.
Yeah, starting January 17th, I think it goes up to
Yeah, so
$11.
that's going to be interesting. But we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. So that's definitely a conversation that I'm sure we may revisit in the near future. KDE in live. Video editor issues final major update on old code base. I did see that Google Chrome can automatically silence autoplay videos. That's a thing. And I recently had to sign a digital document to send it back to a company via a PDF that they sent. And I use this app, if you want to call it that, or this software called Zernal. Since I'm on the other OS, right? So I have to find things that allow me to do stuff that Adobe, I guess Acrobat, that kind of suite allows you to do on the standard Windows or Mac kind of thing, which I don't use. So Zernal, I was like, how am I going to sign this document? So it took me a couple of days. That's what took me a while to sign that, when we were trying to figure out, right? So I'm like, how am I going to sign this thing and send it to them? And I don't have a digital way to sign it. So I looked around, and Zernal, just like it sounds, journal with an X. You can digitally sign documents with that. If you need that a PDF, open it, edit it, and then sign and close it, send it off. So that really helped me out a lot. And that was successful because they accepted it. So I'm happy about that. And then last but not least, if you want to add an aux port to Google Home Mini at your own risk, I did see that. Any comments on those things?
Nope. It took me a bit too, and I got frustrated, so I waited till I could sign it when at work.
Okay.
The only thing about work is that we had special cards for our logins and stuff like that. So I had to somehow figure out how to sign it without it using my digital certificates from work. I'm like, which it was a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. I was just like, okay, don't attach my work stuff to it.
Right, right. Yeah, it was pretty neat. It was pretty neat. So I like those experiences because it allows me to learn new apps that I didn't know exist because I have to go search for it. So I don't think I'm as limited as I think I am. I think I have access to a lot of things that I'm just not aware of, right now. I think as I learn more, the easier it's going to be. But I don't know. It's been really good. It's been really, really good. Um, as in terms of making a switch back to Ubuntu, which I've had a lot of fun with. Yeah, so that's what's going on with that. A couple of things I did see in entertainment. Obama's interview that's actually coming out on December 27th with Prince Harry, and I think that's supposedly a 40-minute interview that they're going to make a 20-minute special, and then later on archive it as a 40-minute podcast, and that should be interesting conversation. I definitely want to hear what that's going to be about. And also the thanks to its recent 52.4 billion acquisition of News Corp's 21 Century Fox, Disney is so big time right now. It's ridiculous. Any comments on those things?
Man, Disney is taking over the world.
Everything.
Everything. Um, but I think it's amazing and very interested, but I don't know if we're going to talk about Star Wars a little bit later, but because they also own the rights and titles to Star Wars.
Okay, yeah, jump into that now.
Okay, we'll do that. So I went to go to the the early screening of Star Wars Last Jedi, which it was good and it was bad.
Whoa.
And as an FYI, I will try to make this as spoil free as I possibly can for all our listeners and watchers. I will not be one of those people who ruin it for you. I promise. But if I don't, okay, first of all, it's Star Wars. You cannot not love a Star Wars film. Now, if you are a fanatic about it, you might be a little bit disappointed.
Mm.
I walked away with it like when I watched it, I loved it. I was laughing. I enjoyed it. It was a great film. And then when I walked out of it, it didn't feel quite like a Star Wars movie to me. It was definitely better than episodes 1, 2, and 3. Okay, I'm very adamant that I did not like episodes 1, 2, and 3, but it wasn't. It didn't bring back that feeling like 4, 5, and 6, and I enjoyed The Force Awakens a bit more. I feel like a lot of the comedy that was in it was a little bit bizarre to me. Yeah, I did laugh, but it was so weirdly forced in a way
Okay.
that I didn't. I was just,
Elaborate.
what is that?
Please elaborate on that.
Oh my God, this is so hard to elaborate. When I think of the original Star Wars films, it was Han Solo that was, who offered that comedic feels, and he had those good one-liners and jokes and quips. This one, I feel like the characters that they chose to have those was just so, like, why? Really, just why? I mean, yeah, I did laugh, but it didn't make sense. It really
Okay.
didn't. And there's like a few scenes where like you'll get to the point, you'll laugh about it, but immediately after they're just like, wait a second, this character doesn't do that. That's not part of their personality. That's not who this character is. It just doesn't make sense. Even if I
Okay.
did laugh.
So are they adding those characteristics, or I guess transitionals, if you want to call it that, to the character for a future movie,
No,
maybe?
I don't think so.
Okay.
There was some characters that had like a little side story to them, which to me didn't make sense. But I'm just assuming that maybe it's a build up to something that happens in episode 9. At least that's what I'm hoping. Because if not, then these little side stories did not make sense to me either. And they could have been left out of the film, and it still would have gotten the message across, and it still wouldn't affect how the movie played out. It really didn't. With these jokes and everything that were happening, I feel that they were like Disney was just trying to be a little bit more family friendly, and Disney was trying to appease to the younger crowd and the younger age. And let's put it this way. I was like, it was getting to the point where I swear, if I see somebody dab on this screen, I'm done and walking out.
Really?
Because the jokes at the end, just like, it just, why? I don't get it. And it's like, some people, they didn't mind it. They liked the little change, a little humor. But majority, I think, walked away feeling that same exact way about it. Like, it was very forced. The little porgs in the movie were so adorable, and Disney is gonna market the hell out of those little porgs, those little cute little furry penguins, because I loved them and I wanted them. And I'm just like, oh, you're so stinking cute. And I was like, I need one of you. But I know you're just this marketing ploy so they can make more money. And you know what? I'm going to buy them.
Yeah, they got you.
They did. They really did get me. Um, there's man, I really can't say much more without really spoiling it. I
I have a
still
question.
okay, go
I have
ahead.
a question for you. Do I, is it a, yeah, I should definitely go to the movies and see it, or I can wait?
I still say go and see it. Um and don't wait, because there are some spoilers, and I've seen people posting it on Twitter, on Facebook, on everything. I'm like, why do you spoil things for people? And they're actually kind of big things, and I wish I could talk about them more, because one of them I was just kind of like, man, really?
Really?
Yeah.
I was able to I didn't see a lot of Star Wars stuff because I haven't really been on social like I usually am on social lately.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I've really been picking my spots. I guess it is what it is. So I didn't really see a lot of Star Wars stuff. I barely see any Walking Dead stuff at this stage in the game. Uh, yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. So it's been pretty safe. I've been on safe ground right now. So you're saying definitely consider seeing it in the theaters.
Yes. Because it's still a really great film to watch. It's really, really nice, and it had some really, what I think were really great fight scenes and battles that happened, and they still had that moments where it still like gave you that emotional reaction that Star Wars is known for, and I really like those scenes. Um, the spoilers, there are spoilers in there, and they're good ones, and it's ones that if somebody tells you what they are, you might be bummed out that you just didn't go and watch it. So I
Okay.
I highly recommend go watch this film. It's it's funny. I'm like I have more complaints about this film than I have good things to say. Which I again
Okay.
I still
Why
say
is
go and
that?
say I
Why do you have
just
more
because it didn't feel like Star Wars to me in a way. I
Okay.
mean it's obvious. There's lightsabers. There's Princess Leia. There's Luke Skywalker and all these other things, but it wasn't what I grown to love about Star Wars. I will say it was better than Justice League,
Okay.
but I wouldn't say it was. I'd say it's on the same level, maybe a little bit below Thor Ragnarok, though. So it's
Which you
like
liked a lot.
I love that movie a lot, a lot. I like Thor Ragnarok. I will watch in theaters if I could. I would watch on theaters a few extra times. The Last Jedi, I watched it. I got it. I will not be spoiled. I don't mind waiting till it comes out on Blu-ray till I watch it again.
See, see, I'm gonna wait till it shows up so I could play it here, kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? So everything you're saying now is like maybe there's really no rush for me to. Okay, with the exception that you said, yeah, I should consider doing the silver screen thing, which is great. I don't know at this point, Daniela.
Well, if you can navigate not being spoiled, then yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. But if you feel like you have some Star Wars fans that are willing to or who not willing but might accidentally ruin it for you, or you might see something, go watch it now.
Okay.
I think majority will be bummed if they're spoiled because I think they're pretty decent spoils, and one of those spoilers, man, I wish I could say what it is because I have so much things to say, so many questions, and I can't ask them.
Oh
Can't.
man.
I can't. I spent the other night with my best friends because that's who I went to go watch it with, and we were just contemplating and talking about all the things that we saw, what happened, and it's just like, man, they're the only people I can talk to about this right now.
Yeah. All right. All right. I'll think about it. It's rare. I just go to the movie just to go to the movie, but I'll think about it. But I did see the last one in the theaters, though. I remember that. That was like, yeah, pretty clear to me. And
Yeah,
then it was
the Force Awakens was real good.
yeah, yeah. So yeah. All right, cool, 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 cool. Overall, out of 5,
Out of
what would you
five,
get?
I give it a 3.5.
Okay, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad. I mean, it's just it's not gonna be a 4. It's not gonna be a 5. It was a pretty good average, just above average movie. That
Okay,
it just makes that cut of like, yes, I don't regret watching it in theaters, but it could have been better.
okay, cool, 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 cool. All right, so definitely want to say what's up, Rav hundreds in the chat. Appreciate you, hanging out. A couple things that I definitely wanted to talk to you about for sure. Okay, so definitely want to mention this, and then we'll do the impressions of the Punisher. Laura Schmidt Hissrich, who wrote Daredevil, Defenders, and Star Series Powers, will be pinning the Witcher Netflix series. So that should be interesting to see what that's going to be like because I enjoyed Daredevil. I enjoyed the Defenders. So I'm pretty excited about that. Any thoughts on that?
Uh,
Oh, wait,
I'm
wait.
behind.
Well,
What is that? Wait.
because no, because I'm thinking something that you said. So no, but go ahead. Any thoughts on that?
It's funny. That's kind of like off track. It's not still on Netflix though, so I'm behind on all these series. I am. I'm still behind on all
That I
these series.
remember. Yeah, that's
But
what I was like. Hey, okay, go ahead.
I don't I love the Netflix original series. But you know what it's funny is that I got this survey from Netflix like a week ago or so, and it was a survey asking about how likely are you to recommend these films? Have you heard about these shows? Do you know about Netflix original stuff? Um, it started asking all these questions, and I find it so interesting because immediately after, like I think the day after, yeah, I think I filled it out on Wednesday. I think the day after 14th is when I got the email of like, hey, we're increasing our prices. Man, I
Mm.
say I really like your stuff, and then you're gonna tell me I have to pay more.
Yeah, of course. That means you're not going anywhere.
I was like, you got me there. Because I'm not
Yeah,
going
that's
anywhere. Because I'm not gonna drop it. And I do love your Netflix original series. I know it's just $11, but still it's $11.
yeah. They put out good stuff. At one point, it was 7.99, I think, right? 7.99, 8.99.
Yeah.
That was way back in the day.
Now I'm bummed.
All right, all right, all right. Punisher impressions. I definitely want to, I guess, give a slight synopsis of the Punisher. I really, really enjoyed the Punisher. Very visceral, very brutal. A lot of people dying. Okay, that was interesting to watch. And Frank Castle, the character who plays the Punisher, his family died. The narrative is pretty well known, right? His family dies, and he wants to kill everybody now that had a part in his family dying. Jigsaw, which is Billy Russo, fought with him when he was in the Marines. I think that's pretty public and that's pretty well known. So I'm just being very generic in those terms. And to you're navigating the story of his narrative, Frank Castle, Billy Russo's part backstory, Madani, which is one of the um, agents, trying to figure it all out. Then you have the reporter lady, which I can't think of her name right now, um, but she's been in some of the previous Marvel series, and Frank wants to make sure that she's safe. So you have the narrative of that, and then you have the guy who sent the video that you know sparked the whole thing as you're watching it to the agent, and that didn't pan out the way it was supposed to pan out. So that turned out to be a really big volcano. Okay, and everyone's trying to put that out. So that was interesting. So going through all that 13 episodes, seeing Frank's nightmares of missing his family, which you'd expect because most people are familiar with the major narrative of Frank Castle as the Punisher. That was disturbing to me. That was disturbing to me. Just because I can't imagine, you know, the way that whole thing took place with his family, and how would you feel about that? Very, I would say he's decorated in terms of skill set and talents. In terms of killing people, he's really good at that, right? Because he got really good, and so watching him just go through people like it's nothing, that was really enjoyable. From the crime action thriller, somewhat of a genre to some degree. So I enjoy those genres. So overall, I think they did a fantastic job. They already announced season 2, which is great, and there's a lot there. It's very bloody.
Punisher's Marvel, right?
Yeah,
And Marvel is now Disney.
yeah. I think.
So
I
do
think
they get
that's
to
how that.
keep? Do they get to keep doing that? Is Marvel gonna be like Disney's only rated R? We won't acknowledge that we make rated R movies now at Disney.
Yeah, I think aren't they considering Deadpool radar or something like that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Deadpool is still gonna be still gonna be rated R, and Disney. I guess I can't wrap my head around that because
Doesn't make sense, right?
no, it doesn't make sense. Like I think what is the highest or most adult rating that Disney puts out? It's probably like PG-13, right?
Probably.
So to know that Disney now has rated R films, I don't know.
Yeah.
So
So it's definitely something that you must watch. It's a must watch. I take my time, and the next series I definitely want to go into is one called Godless, Netflix original series. It's a country style type of series type, which is not my usual, but it's very interesting. It's something happened and these kind of women defending it, which is very vague. And they're, you know, they have guns and they're ready to defend whatever they have to defend for the right cause. And I thought that was an interesting thing. So I was like, godless. So this is interesting. Let me bookmark that and see what's up. So that's probably next on the list. I do watch a lot of the comedy stuff. So I don't know what that says about me psychologically, um, because I tend to agree with them most of the time, depending on the kind of comedy that they're, you know, whatever bit that they have going on. So that's interesting. But yeah, Punisher was dope.
So, does that make Punisher a Disney prince?
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on that.
I don't know, but it was great. It was great. I mean, it was at first, but see, it's the shocking factor that I had to get used to because I'm watching this and I'm like, he's really going through all these people like this. This is crazy. So the shock factor with the first one, two, three episodes was I had to get used to that. Okay, because I didn't know what to expect. I like watching Blacklist and they go a little crazy in that too, but not as crazy as The Punisher. That's kind of like another crime type show, which I like. I like crime shows. I know what it is. I like those. And so I had to get used to that. But overall, if I had to give it something, I mean, 4.7 out of 5, if you can do that,
Oh, wow.
it's crazy. Yeah, it's insane. It has everything in there. You know, people crying, people being serious, people, you know, things I could say that would spoil it, but I won't. That kind of a thing. It has everything in there. Everything.
Well, then I'm missing out a whole lot.
It's ooh, it's ooh. All right, so let's get uncomfortable a little bit,
All right.
Daniela. Can we do that?
Yeah, go for it. Try me.
So this year's been interesting. It's been an interesting year. 2017 has been an interesting year, and I guess the latter half, the last 2 quarters of 2017, I'll say the last 2 quarters, when all this stuff started coming out with the Me Too hashtags and every women and men standing up for uh, speaking out of the things that took place that we don't wish on anybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as I started thinking about 2017, you came in just a little before that wave. I would say 3 months later or 4 months later, we started seeing those things happen, right? Uh, Probably at the tail end of the summer into the winter, maybe fall, winter, give or take. It felt like that to me, right? Just watching those things. And I started thinking about having conversations offline with other individuals. I'm like, did I ever say anything that would offend Daniela, and have I addressed it? Because if I did, I need to make it right. So I'm thinking, I'm thinking of all the different things that we've said on the show, every conversations we had offline, everything that we've talked about online. I'm like, are we good? Right. So I started thinking that, and I know we didn't talk about it until recent. I mean, these things have been coming out, you name it, name every actor, famous actor, not so famous comedian, different individuals that you'd never know until they mention their story. Every story became a big story. So I'm like, okay, so I need to make sure that we're good.
We
So
are good. We
so
are.
that so, so
I
that was the
mean,
thing. So, go ahead. Yeah, talk to me.
like, I don't know. Yeah, that's been coming out, but I would like to take pride in myself to say that I'm a strong, independent woman and that if it happened, I'd be like, no, 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 not in my house.
I believe it. I believe that you are.
And I don't know. I guess when you approached me about that, I was like a little bit shocked because in my mind, I'm like, no. And I hope that I would never give you that impression or that feeling that maybe you made me feel uncomfortable at some point, or I felt, like I couldn't come to you to say like, look, I don't appreciate what you said to me or how you said it or how it made me feel. But I get where you're coming from because there are those women who aren't strong enough or are brave enough or feel like they have the courage to come out and say something. So I appreciate you talking to me about it. Um, but no, I don't know why you would think it'd be awkward. I think it shouldn't be awkward. It shouldn't be like, to me, to say that this type of conversation is awkward is to say, it's like kind of admitting that it's like taboo to bring up or something. And it's not. It should be welcome to have these conversations, and they should be open, and it should be a part of, not necessarily every single conversation it should ever be about this, but it shouldn't be something that's hard to approach. So I'm all good.
Okay. I'm all right. So that's the end of that. Video game news. I definitely want to jump into that. Thanks for sharing. I really do appreciate it. I definitely wanted to have that out there.
But
To
the same thing goes the other way around too. I mean, it's not just about you and how you talk to me, but I always want to make sure that I don't ever make you feel uncomfortable or do anything that feels like it's encroaching on your privacy and how you feel.
no, and okay, so no, we talk about a lot of things, like a lot. Okay, we've shared a lot. Even when we first really started writing down notes on how we were going to set this up for the show, and what was off limits, what was on limits, or whatever. I think we talked about a lot of different things that made it easy for us to share the things that we share, right?
Mhm.
But I think that, um, like you were saying, voicing it out is always, I think that's good for whatever conversation. It's one thing to say, yeah, I have a problem with somebody and I don't necessarily want to tell them, but it's another thing that to bring it up. Do we have any issues or challenges that we need to address or anything like that? I think that's good to do that, and I think that has made like most relationships stronger when you address things that can be uncomfortable, right?
Mhm.
We haven't had anything like that, and I don't expect it because of how open that we are about talking about a lot of different things, a lot of different challenges and stuff like that. And it's always and I don't really believe in like open door policy stuff. I mean, communication is communication, and I think that we should be able to share whatever we need to share and be safe in that regard. So the answer to your question, the long way around the mountain, is no. I think we're good um, in all facets, and I'm very very happy about that.
Yep, you're right. And I feel the same way.
Word. The Game Awards, people. The Game Awards. So, a couple of stats that we have top stuff for video game news. The Game Awards, 11.5 million global live streams, up from 3.8 million in 2016. That was the first stat that I did see. That was really interesting. A couple of things from NPD. Do you have a Call of Duty tops the sales for NPD? PS4 tops the units moved or sold. I guess sold would probably be the accurate term there. And then Microsoft tops the revenue. I think that's pretty much how the balance was for those things. Any comments on those things?
That is one crazy jump for the Game Awards. That's pretty much almost three times the amount from 2016.
Mm,
Three times is huge jump in number increases. I think it's well deserved though. They did a lot. The production quality continues to go up. Jeff Keighley is awesome host. So,
absolutely.
but that is amazing. That is some huge numbers there.
Yeah. The okay, so I know you don't really do the Call of Duty stuff much. Do you do the zombie stuff for Call of Duties at all?
Nope, I don't even touch Call of Duty anymore.
Not the zombies. Okay. All right. So then the PS4 moves at the top units. Microsoft tops the revenue. Uncharted a series passes 41 million in sales. That's insane. And also PUBG sells 1 million on Xbox One. Any comments on those things?
Man, PUBG on Xbox is crap.
Okay. About that. What is going on there? What's crap about it? What's happening there?
Oh, it is so painful. It is so painful for me to play. So, my first game on the Xbox, I think I got 3 kills and I came in. I think I know I was in top 10. I think I was 6th or 7th. Um, Now I'm not playing it on the Xbox One X, so maybe it's a little bit unfair of an opinion on it. I just have my regular Xbox One. Um, but it was so laggy, and the frame issues were so incredibly painful. Like coming from PC, going down to the Xbox, which I think I saw somebody who did a test on the frames for the Xbox. I think it can drop down anywhere to like 4 frames. And people were averaging somewhere between 20 to 30. And I think someone said that was even on their Xbox One X. And it's supposed to boast at 60 frames or something like that. I don't know. Whatever it was really bad. The control schemes were so incredibly awkward. Even like it just didn't make sense to me on some levels the way that the control schemes was laid out. It was just didn't have a nice little flow to it. Even reloading it took me a while because I'm used to having, shooters where you just tap the button and it reloads. This one you have to press and hold it for it to reload. That is so ridiculous to me because I'm like pressing the buttons like, why aren't you reloading? Come on. And switching weapons, it wasn't very smooth at all. Attaching and detaching different attachments to these guns wasn't smooth. It was awkward. Man, it was just so bad. And the only man, okay, Xbox players are so lame too. Like because I'm used to it playing it. I'm not the most aggressive player. I try to be a smart player the way I approach different situations. But man, like they just sit and camp in these buildings. Like, come on, get out. Let's fight. Let's something. You're just sitting in there camping in these buildings. Not to say that PC players don't do the same thing. But man, these I swear they probably came from Call of Duty because they were trying to sit in the back and snipe when it was like, come on, really? Do something. Anything. Don't make it. It's like I had to engage every single moment. And then some of them are just like I can't understand why they played a certain way that they played. Like it didn't make sense. And shout outs to Astros on their awesome headsets because I can hear these footsteps. And I was running into the circle and then I heard footsteps behind me. Now this guy had dead to rights to shoot me down and kill me. But I don't know why he didn't. He was directly behind me. We're out in an open field and I'm like, why didn't you take the shot? I'm like, right here. I have no cover. I can't do anything. Yet I heard you, turned around, killed you. Like, why would you play that way? Why wouldn't you just kill me? And it was just so bizarre. So buggy. And I know it's just like an Xbox preview thing. I mean, even on PC, PUBG still has some problems to it. It's still not, it's still not as fluid as it should be. It still shows the signs of early access. I think the only good thing about having PUBG on Xbox is that you have a plethora of players who obviously can't afford a gaming PC or they just don't care to join PC gaming. So you're giving them this, what I think is a great introduction to Battle Royale games, PUBG. I mean, there is Fortnite on there, but those are two different types and two different playstyles and mindsets of playing. And PUBG has obviously been out a bit longer than Fortnite, and I don't think culling did very well on the consoles either. So it's great that those console players get to experience PUBG now. They get to play, and PC players finally get to play with some friends that are like new and exciting. And I got to watch some of my friends stream and play it with, new PUBG players, and to see their excitement and their worry and their nervousness playing. That's a great feeling still. So, I hope with future updates and when it finally fully comes out, because I believe it's still in the Xbox preview program, that it gets better and it's more well received. And I can very well picture this going into the competitive esports side of it, kind of like H1Z1. And that's where I hope it goes. It's just that right now it is super painful as, a PC player to play it on Xbox right now because that was so buggy and so painful. I'm like, nope, we're done until you get some more updates.
Okay. Can you change the control scheme?
I believe you can. I don't see why you couldn't. I didn't bother to go and look, but I was so frustrated with just how laggy the game was that I didn't even want to take the time to see if I can control my button scheme. Either way, you're still gonna have to hold the button to reload, which is so bizarre. So incredibly bizarre to me.
Okay. So the port is it's okay, basic. Like
Eh, it's
is
meh.
it it's worth the excitement or not really?
Not for me. Not for
Okay.
me, and that sounds very elitist of me because I'm going to say PC Master Race on this until Xbox actually stabilizes their frames and it comes to be a better, smoother game to play overall.
Okay. All right. That's cool. That's cool. Now, Nintendo, 10 million units sold worldwide in 9 months on sale.
Yay! I still don't have a Switch.
I'm really excited about that.
That I
I'm
don't have
really
a
excited
Switch.
about that. No, no, no. I'm really.
I'm super excited you don't have a Switch. Okay.
You're funny. I'm excited about the fact that it's doing as well as expected because of the fact that it caters to two um, worlds, right? The handheld audience, especially in the Asian market, if you want to say that. And then domestically, we console people, and we have handheld people here too, as far as like gaming devices. But it's very exciting to see it do well. To the point where I'm interested in one now. It's vague right now, but I'm interested.
So
It's fair to say.
I found out that the majority of my son's friends bring their Switch to school.
Okay.
And I'm just like, I remember going to school and I would bring like my Game Boy Advance. And that drove my teachers insane that in between classes, here I am playing. I didn't play it during my classes, but just in between or during lunch. It was like so frowned upon. And like the Game Boy Advance is this tiny little square, it's so small. And you have these kids coming to school with a Switch. And I'm just like, really? My parents would never let me go to school with something that expensive.
Yeah, it's true.
Ever. It's just like, oh, really? And then my son, I see my son kind of hinting towards it. Like, no, no. Your
No.
friends can, if your friends want to bring their Switch to school, that's perfectly fine and up to them. But you know what? There are two-player, multiplayer games on the Switch. There's two controllers there. You can play with them. I'm not gonna go and buy you one so you can bring it to school. That's not what my money's there for.
Yeah, it's
You
it's
can go get
definitely
a job and get your own.
yeah, right. It's definitely dope. So Mario Odyssey is the best Mario game in a long time, and that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. It's a mishmash of the best Mario's, including Mario 64, from what I understand. The best of the best into this title is, the best remix ever, is from what I'm hearing. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the individuals who have it. I'm excited that one day maybe I'll do another Nintendo thing. It's been a while since I did any Nintendo thing. A long time. We're talking about the first Nintendo. I still have that, and I think that was it. And then my Game Boy got stolen, and I think I still have shock from that. And then that was it. So yeah. So outside of that, my daughter, she had a 3DS for a minute, and that's it. That's the only Nintendo, and then some emulators in between. So yeah. Aside from that, that's what's happening with that. Payday heading to Nintendo Switch. That's going to be February 23 in the UK, 27 in the US, from what I remember seeing. With that, Metal Gear Survive. That is going to have an open beta for PS4, Xbox One from January 18 to 21, which is the week of my birthday. So that's pretty neat. Any comments on those things?
When is your birthday?
19.
Ow, so soon.
Yeah, it's
It's
pretty
in
soon.
a
It's right.
month. Okay. Metal Gear Solid. I'm actually kind of curious about their Survive. It seems interesting, and I hope that I'm approaching it like the very little expectations.
Right.
But it is the Metal Gear title. I cannot
Okay.
not try it. I have to.
You have to try it. Okay, so the thing with the whole Metal Gear thing, I think when it first released either like teasers or different things, people laughed about it, right? And laughed at it because it wasn't a Hideo Kojima title.
Hmm.
And with all the games that are coming out now with the Royale stuff, I wouldn't be surprised if they add that in this game.
Oh, of course not. Probably will. But it, I
Right.
but I can't also picture Metal Gear being. I don't know. I think it would be kind of weird as a royale kind of game because Metal Gear is about being stealthy, being a ninja, basically, and
But you do,
maneuvering around.
and those other things. You just don't do it like Metal Gear ish, but you do that. You're hiding. One game you're building stuff while you're collecting your stuff to have just in case you get flanked or whatever. I don't think PUBG you build anything,
Nope.
right? You know better than I would. But yeah, you're still trying to hide, using the terrain so you can get the best shot at the end of the day and be the last man standing.
I don't know. I can't picture it. But again, I have to try it. I
Right.
have to try it. Like I always think about like when it comes to Metal Gear, I always think about just hiding on that corner and you're watching like the patrol go by and then you knock on the wall and you have the little guy goes like, "What was that?"
That's right. My favorite. What
I
about the
can't picture
boss?
that well, see that's the funny thing too. Is like if I get to have if I get to have a cardboard box to hide in. Because right now, my favorite part about Fortnite is hiding in a bush. If I can hide in a cardboard box, I might lose it.
So how does that work? Do you really disappear in the bush?
You kind of do. You hide in this bush, and so the only thing you can really see is like your feet, and then you can crouch down, and then it hides your feet in a way, and you just don't move. I mean, obviously, if you start looking around yourself and your surroundings, your bush would turn, and it's going to be obvious that you're this walking bush. But yeah, you kind of, unless you're really super paying attention and looking through the leaves and everything for like different colors for somebody being in there, you can't really fully notice.
Mm,
It makes you really super paranoid for people who's like bush gaming. You start shooting at every bush. I
that's
like it
crazy.
though.
But that's a waste of bullets because you don't automatically replenish.
No, and the thing is that when I have the bush, I stutter a lot. I always play like a support character in a way. So whether regardless if I'm playing PUBG or Fortnite, I'm always that one player that's kind of in the back more. And I guess you can say I use my other teammates somewhat as bait because I'm further behind. They'll obviously be the first one shot at. And if I can see where those shots are coming from, I will start aiming there. I'll make those call outs. Most of the times I won't get the kill. I'll make the call outs and I'll lay down like cover fire until they can get either close enough to take them out or to see where I'm calling out and where I'm shooting from. As a bush, that's almost perfect because they can like especially when we're in the top 10 situation, the circle's pretty small. I'll camp myself somewhere that has a really good high ground as a bush and I won't move and I'll look around to see who's running around and who's, jumping and just being a little bit reckless to be able to get those call outs. And it almost works out perfectly for me that way.
Okay. Where do you rank yourself in a game? Good, pretty good, or working on it?
Good.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
I'm not like on a pro level, but I'm not on a noob level. I'm just like your average player, I think. Just above just a little bit above the average player.
Okay. All right. That's fair. So Nino Kuni 2, that we'll see a release of March 23rd, 2018. Sagat and Sakura, they're going to be in the season 3 DLC of Street Fighter 5, and Capcom is interested in bringing games that they haven't brought to the Switch yet to the Switch. Any comments on those things?
I think I get my almost my gaming news updates like delays faster through Amazon than anywhere else.
Really?
Yeah. Well, okay. Nino Kuni 2, I pre ordered in April of this year. And I think sometime the beginning of last week, I want to say it was like Monday or Tuesday, I got an email from Amazon of like, oh, an update on your shipment. And it was for Nino Kuni 2. And it says like, oh, your new shipment date will arrive on this, in this week. And it gives you a range of dates of your shipment date. So pretty much I was like, okay, so you're telling me my game is delayed by like 2 months here. Okay. And it wasn't until the following day that I see the updates of like, oh, Nino Kuni has been delayed and blah blah blah. I'm like, so thanks Amazon for giving me the heads up that all the other news outlets didn't give me yet.
Wow.
It did the
So it's
same
like
thing for like
24 to
South Park
48
as well.
hours?
What is that?
Like 24 to 48 hours almost?
Yeah, because
Wow.
I'm pretty sure. I think it was like Monday or Tuesday. I want to say it was a Monday though. But yeah, I didn't see the news updates for the delay until the day after. So maybe a good 24 hours before. And it was the same thing that happened with South Park for both of their games. I found out that they were delayed before anything else. I'm like, oh, okay, well that's nice to know. Thanks.
Hmm. All right, so more COD stuff. Infinity Ward opens a new studio in Poland, and that team is going to be working directly with the team in LA. So that happened. Fallout New Vegas, the next RPG from the developers of Fallout New Vegas, they will not have any microtransactions or loot boxes in their game. When they asked them directly, the answer was simply no microtransactions of any kind in our game. Any comments on those things?
Good. Because I don't want games to start going down that path of loot boxes. I really don't care for them. I really don't. And I don't think I've ever bought a loot box with actual money. Like use the in-game currency if you can get that through playing the game to buy stuff, but I will not spend actual money.
Yeah,
It's just not
yeah.
happening.
It's very interesting to me how much money is spent on microtransactions, especially for GTA. It is crazy that that game is still, I mean, pouring in money
Yeah, and some
years
people
later.
don't mind that. I'm not one of those people.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
I have to count for every penny that I have here. Single parent, you know what? It's expensive to live in Hawaii. I can't afford $5 for a box. Oh.
it's insane. It's insane. Now this company, I really like their games. What I've seen their games throughout the years. Deus Ex: Mankind Divided developer Eidos Montreal have has confirmed plans to further focus on online elements, and I think that's great for them. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I have never played the game, so I'm not sure. I like, I'm sorry, I'm like the worst person to be asking for those things.
Any of the iterations of their games at all?
No,
Not yet. Okay.
none.
They make some good stuff. Very futuristic games. Very, um, I wouldn't say Total Recall ish type games, but whenever I played their games, I feel like future type stuff, augmentations, that kind of thing. It's
I saw the trailer for one of the Deus Ex games. It was a live action thing. I honestly thought it was a trailer for a movie, and
yeah.
it was so good. And I found out it was for the game. I'm like, oh wow, this looks good. I would love if they did come up with a movie, like a trilogy of that universe, because I think it would sell really, really well. That is, I mean, I don't think too many video game to movies have turned out so well. So you'd have to find the right director and cast for it, but it could be very promising.
Word. Yeah, they do. They do really good stuff. The Atari box that you're waiting for, that's been there's a hold there now.
I didn't get a pre-order it, but I really, really,
There's a
really want it.
hold there. I'm sure we're gonna hear something, maybe first quarter 2018, hopefully, maybe before that. So you have that. Soul Calibur 6 gameplay. I think that was 10 minutes. And the interview, that interview was actually from the PlayStation Experience, which I didn't see. So I just caught a couple of minutes of that, which was really, really cool. Fez is now available on iOS in the form of Fez Pocket Edition. If that's your thing, definitely check that out. Injustice has a free, it says free weekend um, going on from December 14th through 18th. So that ends, today is what, 17?
Yeah.
So that ends tomorrow on both PlayStation 4, depending when you listen to this, on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Any comments on those things?
Man, I hope next year is as far as Soul Calibur here goes. Um, I hope that's a whole change in tournaments and everything that's going to be happening. I mean, I don't remember if there was a release date given for Soul Calibur 6, but I kind of want to see more of Tekken and Soul Calibur happening. Kind of getting tired of Street Fighter. Even though that's going to be like the new hype coming into the next year because January, I think, is the release of the arcade edition.
Hmm.
And they have all their new characters. So many people are so incredibly hyped for. You know what I thought it was interesting though with the announcement with Sakura. I think it was teased. I don't remember when it was teased. I'm having um memory gap here. Just like I can't remember what the tournament was. That
The
was teased.
Capcom tour? Is
Ah,
that?
no, I think it was just before the Cap Cup World Cup. But they teased Sakura, and they didn't show Sakura, but people were a little bit kind of confused, or at least it didn't click instantly. They dropped pink petals um down, and people were kind of like and it didn't instantly click that this is a teaser for Sakura for some people, which kind of blows my mind because Sakura or the pink cherry blossom leaves, like, how did you not make that connection yet? Especially
That
when
that
that
could have
character.
been that could have been a crossover. That could have been like Haru Maru from Samurai Showdown or something crazy.
Yeah, but when it comes to Street Fighter, come on. Sakura, and she has the pink leaves and petals, like, click
Yeah,
a
I'm
little
trying
bit
to remember
faster.
her hometown, her stage. If it had that, I would have to go back and look. But I wouldn't make the connection either. I would be like, huh? What was like what is this? But it's I mean, she's an amazing character. She is tough to play. I mean, there's just certain characters that I didn't like playing against. She was one. Cammy is still one. Zangief is still one. Dalsim is okay. I think I could manage Dalsim here and there. Kuma is still a pain. There's a couple, but Cammy is just the worst. I mean,
She's just.
she's just the worst. She is. She's great, but if you're using her and beating up on people, that's fantastic. But when you're playing against her, oh my goodness, it's a whole nother thing. But yeah, Street Fighter is really fun. Injustice 2, I didn't really play at all. I remember watching some of the movie for Injustice 2, if you want to call it that. All the compilation of all the scenes are like 2 hours and something, right? Which we talked about in a previous episode. So that's what's going on with that. I definitely want to give an update to the Logitech giveaway. I want to make I want to amend something. So pretty much some things will change, something will stay the same, but I definitely want to do an actual stream for the 150 once we get there. So once we hit 150 followers on this channel, the show radio live, once we hit 150 on this channel, the show radio live, right? Once we do that, then what I'll do is I want to do a stream for that so we can have a party and I can give it away and whoever's in that stream are eligible. And I think that's fair. So instead of giving it to Joe Schmo who never logs on, doesn't have a bio, does barely knows how to log into his Twitch because he or she forgets their passwords every single time that they have to log into it, I think it's only fair. What do you think?
Yeah, that's completely fair. So basically, you just have to be here and be present.
Word.
Definitely follow, but be here, be present, be active in our
Yeah.
chat for a chance for two people, two
Yeah. Yeah,
to
because they're right
each.
here. They're right behind me. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see this on the shelf? If I
Very little. Your mic and your boom hides it
my
a little
mic
bit.
and my boom is in the way.
Like,
My
boom.
boom boom. These two things. How about now?
Yep,
Right here.
I see it.
So they're here, wonderful people of the internets. Not just we're not making this up. We do have them here. They're waiting for you. Will it be you?
The cake is not a lie.
The cake is not alive. So that's I definitely want to mention that Microsoft is bundling PUBG. Daniela doesn't like PUBG at this time on Xbox between December 17th and the 31st. So if you're looking into getting Xbox One X and you're excited about PUBG, and here's your opportunity to do that. 17th through the 31st, they're doing that. Okay, so any comments on the bundling, Daniela?
No, I'm just hoping it
Nothing there?
actually does run better on Xbox One X. It probably actually really does. I just don't personally know anybody with the X for me to go and try PUBG on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but for some people said it really doesn't. Like they didn't notice a huge difference in how smooth it was in between. Who knows? I don't know. But if that is your thing, I guess now is a good reason to go and get the Xbox One X because you get a bundled game with it.
Yeah. It's like a new game for a new system. That's pretty dope, right?
Yeah. I don't know if I would want PUBG to be my first game on the X though.
What would you want as a bundle for holiday season? If you had the choice now, what would you do Nino Kuni bundle?
I would, but that'd be more for PlayStation. If it was Xbox, strangely enough, I don't really care for games bundled with systems. If I'm gonna buy a bundle, I kind of want, here's the system, an extra controller, and maybe like 3 months of Xbox Gold. I'd buy that bundle.
Hmm.
I don't really care for game bundles as much. The only time I do care for game bundles is if it's like a special console, like if I don't know, if the casing had the PUBG logo on it or something. I I don't know. Like I love my Gears of War 3 Xbox 360. I'd buy that. And
Okay.
if this next year for PlayStation they happen to have a Final Fantasy 7 one, and I forgot the name of the other game, but if they have a bundle for that and it's a special limited edition console for the PS4 Pro, yeah, I'm going to get it. I am.
Nice. Nice. All right, so this thing is pretty dope. I tried it and I really had a good time with it. So Xbox Party Chat. So I take out my phone, I install the Xbox Party Chat, the beta app, and I did Party Chat on my phone on the app, and it was really good.
Really?
Yeah, it ran pretty well. So, I went to my kitchen. I was like, yo, what's up, peeps? They're in the chat room, and I just joined it from my phone using the beta app, and I talked to them through Bluetooth, and it was cool.
See, I
I'm
think
like,
I'm the opposite of that. No, go ahead. Go ahead. You finish what your thoughts
no,
on it
yeah,
first.
I'm like, yeah, I think, why don't Sony do that?
Okay, I don't know.
I don't know either. Like it was really good, but no, that's all. I had a good time with it. I mean, there was like one or two times that connect, disconnect, connect, disconnect, and then after that, I stayed on for like a long time, no disconnect, and then when I was ready to get off, I was like, all right, guys, I'm out, peace, and then I just signed off, and it was great. So it has a few kinks, but you can have a nice long conversation without being on your system on there. That's all I have. What do you got?
I have a weird, like, anti party chat thing.
Okay.
Because, okay, when I remember way back when 360 was the hottest thing. Um, yeah, we used to have party chats. I used to have friends when we'd all be playing single player games and we'd just sit there and chat. But at some point, I don't know what it was, but I kind of stopped liking that because all be playing games, and some of us would either be playing one game, and it would be something that's like multiplayer, and then some that are playing single player. it kind of got hard to be able to, if you're playing a multiplayer game like Gears, I think we were playing Gears at that time actually, to be able to communicate effectively when we were
Okay.
playing. And then you have the other people in there that are just like chatting and they're doing their own things and it's just enjoyable stuff. And it kind of felt weird. Like, I don't want to tell you to please get out of my party chat. And I don't want you to feel weird if we leave and to make our own chat to go and do these
Right.
things. And it got to the point where, you know, we had to understand of like, yeah, we're playing this or we're going to do this and we'll talk to you with you later if we're playing a more relaxing game that doesn't require as much, you know, focus. But I also got to the point where when we make party chats now, we have to instantly make it invite only and we are not leaving it open because it drives me insane when people just jump into the party. It's like they didn't invite you. And I don't want to
Mm.
sound like I'm just like like I'm like completely put off like I don't want to chat with you, but I it's kind of like coming in into a mid conversation at a party. Like you don't just like have these people who are having this conversation, then you just like walk in and cut them off and just like, hey, what's up, guys? It's like, what if it was private? I don't know. It's just something weird with me that I don't know where that developed from. So now I have oh my god. If you guys are listening, I love you guys. I really, 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 really do. So there's occasions where I'll be playing with some friends and they leave their invite things open and then they'll just have a random friend of theirs that I don't know who just comes in and they sit and they'll just like listen. And sometimes they'll just like say one or two words really awkwardly, but for the most part, they just sit there listening. I'm like, why? Why are
Okay.
you there? Like, this is so incredibly creepy to me. And then sometimes you'll hear them eating their food. They won't say that you just hear them sitting there eating their food. Like, why? Ugh. But you're my friend's friend. You're not my friend. So it's not like I can tell you, please leave and get out of here. And now to have that accessibility on your phone, like, oh my goodness.
Okay. It's
There's,
you don't have to use it. It's in beta. Okay. So you have options, right?
yeah.
Okay. So I agree with you, and yeah, and I agree with you. And I'm the guy that will come in and say, "Hey, what's up, guys?" And then if everyone's like, "No, dude, they're flanking right. They're flanking right," they're like, "Okay, I'll talk to you guys later." And I'll leave. You know,
It's one
that's
thing
what you
if
have
you
to
know
do.
that they're in the middle of something, like, oh, I'm so sorry, and you leave. I'm fine with that. Someone that just stay and they listen.
Yeah. So the unsaid, you kind of know what's unsaid. So if they invite me back, you'd be like, man, you know what? I was flanking right, man. I got caught. I'm like, my bad, bro. My bad you got caught. I was just saying what's up. No, you cool, man. What else is going on? So then, then it kind of goes back and forth in a conversation. If they don't invite me back into the room, that's cool. Sometimes I'll play a game or whatever I'm doing, get whatever I need to get done. I'll check back in with them and be like, hey, I just want to say what up. All right, you guys have a good night. Peace. And then I'm out, something like that. So I think that there's just some things that are clearly stated that we never discussed that you just kind of, you just get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes you just invite into a room, like you said, that's invite only. And then sometimes when you get invited to the invite only and someone else wants to speak to you from a room that's just open, and I'm like, now you have to make a decision of, okay, so I don't want to make anybody feel slighted, right? So I have to be like, yo, what up? Yo, let me holler at you real quick. I'm gonna have this conversation real quick and I'll be right back. So you kind of, you know, you kind of work it out depending on the situation.
You know what? You know what? This have been a perfect time if they could have added this, and this is like a super old feature that's no longer available. Is when you could have Netflix party viewings
Mm,
on the Xbox. And why that would have been perfect then is that I had a that was my favorite thing about Netflix on Xbox. Absolutely favorite. If I had to choose a place to watch Netflix, it was always going to be on Xbox because you could create party chats, invite your friends into your group on Xbox, and then load up Netflix, and there'd be the one person that controls the Netflix viewing, and you could watch movies together, and it'd be perfectly timed and synced in this Xbox party chat. And some of my friends didn't have, a mic that they could use on on their Xbox, but they would have a Bluetooth headset that could pair with their phone and to be a part of the conversation, so we could watch it all together. That would have been a perfect time. Granted, Netflix doesn't offer that anymore, and it breaks my heart because it was my favorite thing ever. Ever. Oh man, if I could do that again. Then that would have been the perfect time to have this. But right now, it's probably a feature that I'm not going to use. Very rarely do I even use the PlayStation voice chat or even the Xbox voice chat. Even now, right now, like I use Discord for all voice chats for everything.
Yeah.
That's like how my current setup
Well,
is.
let's go.
It is. It's just Discord just makes it so much easier on so many different levels, and I do feel bad when, people don't have their stuff set up that way, and I don't know. It
It's
just
all
works.
good. It was interesting to try. It was interesting to test out. I look forward to the updates that they do to make it a solid thing. And especially for the individuals that I used to play Destiny with all the time on the Xbox, and I've moved on to the PlayStation platform, and I don't see or foresee them getting the PlayStation platform. And it was interesting when I was using the Xbox party chat in beta. They were playing Destiny, and I loaded Destiny to find Zer because I was like, "Where's Zer?" They're like, "Well, Zer's in the back stairway, behind Future War Cult, behind the Dead Orbit guy." So I was like, "Okay, let me head over there." So I'm in the chat on the Xbox chat, playing PlayStation while they're playing Xbox on my phone. It was cool. It was cool. It was a cool little thing. So it was neat. So it was a little cool thing for me to check up on the peeps. So right into that, Destiny 2 first seasonal event, the Dawning, that arrives next week on the 19th of December. I think there's snowball fights in there and a couple other things that's supposed to be exciting about this time of the year. And Rav says that he used to watch bad horror films in the Xbox party and Netflix. So definitely wanted to add that in there. And Daniela,
Yes.
year end review. We're here. We're here.
Yep.
Yup.
Nearing the end. Don't be sad. It's been an amazing year.
Absolutely.
Um, a huge blessing. I know I've said this so many times before, but this year has been a huge blessing to me in so many ways, and I have you to really think about for all of it.
No,
And
no, I have you to thank for that.
no,
It's both ways.
it is, and I don't think, man, what was it? 9 months now. 9 months I have been on the show radio with you, and it just
That's
gets
great.
better every month, every recording, everything that happens. It just gets better, and it's just I hope it continues to grow to even be bigger, better things for this next coming year. I don't see why we can't make it happen. I mean, we both have really great ideas, very big dreams that we're both working on. Um, I just look forward to it. I do.
Abs- Absolutely. I do too. Best moments for 2017 for you?
Meeting you at E3
That was good. I agree. I agree. I enjoyed that. That was amazing. That
and
was
just
very
just
nerve
being
wracking
at
at the same time.
E3. Yeah, it was.
Hmm?
Oh, I don't want to say it was nerve wracking. I think meeting you wasn't nerve wracking. I was very anxious and very excited for that. For me, the nerve wracking part was just being at E3, period.
Ah, got it.
Because that was a whole new ball game. It was incredibly eye opening for me, and it was an amazing experience that I wasn't sure what to expect. And I don't know if I'll ever be sure about what to expect, and I think that's super exciting to me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. I still do get nerves when I'm meeting people, even though I may have some kind of rapport with them. It's just I don't know. I'm still working through that. Like, just a quick story. I was in a grocery store the other day, and the lady was in the freezer aisle, and I was trying to get some stuff for my spaghetti, for my pasta. So she's holding the freezer open, and I'm kind of like standing at an angle behind her, waiting for her to be done. I'm like, when is this lady going to be done? Because I need to access the freezer. So it felt like 5 6 minutes that I'm waiting for this lady to close the freezer so I could open it, that kind of thing. So the interesting something really, really interesting happened, right? So she was indecisive in her decision when she was trying to find what she needed from the freezer, right? I was anxious and impatient because I wanted to access where she was standing and I couldn't because she was there. But what happened was, I asked her, I said, "Hey, excuse me, can I just grab something, from the freezer?" And she said, "Sure, I can't make up my mind. I was here, I knew exactly what I wanted, and now I don't, so I'm still trying to figure it out." As soon as I opened the freezer, I blanked out too. I didn't know what I wanted. So a second ago, I was like, this lady needs to be done because I know what I want to get. And when I opened the freezer, I didn't know what to get. So I said, you know what we're gonna do? And I looked at her, I said, I'm gonna close this freezer and we're gonna look at the freezer together. And we did because I wasn't ready. So it was just a whole mind shift of a situation. That happened in a grocery store.
I can only picture just the both of you sitting there, like contemplating,
Staring at it.
working it
Yeah.
out together. Like,
It
what
out.
did you feel like having?
Yeah, it was weird because it was like it was a great shift for me, and I think that me realizing that, and just addressing it right away, I think what was great for me. I don't know what that was, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna close this freezer and we're gonna look at it together. And she was like, all right. So then we looked at it. I said, all right, I think I made up my mind. I said, yeah, I'm gonna try this one today, and then I grabbed it. But like a few seconds ago, I was ready to like, hey, lady, need to go here, you know, that kind of thing, which I wouldn't do. That's just really weird. But yeah, that kind of a thing. So yeah, definitely 2017 for me was really amazing. Like I said to you recently, my Christmas gift came early. It was you this year, and I really appreciate that. And I really appreciate you for everything that you've done, everything that you're doing, everything that we don't talk about, everything that you do that I don't ask, and all the stuff in between that nobody sees that you're involved in. And it's really, really amazing. And you are the employee of the year.
I know.
you, you get the award. You get the award, Daniela. It's yours. You get it. It's absolutely yours. But yeah, I definitely appreciate you. And the bond that we're building, the trust level that we have, things that I don't have to think about anymore, concerned about when I hear other groups have those issues, and I'm like, I don't have those issues, so I can't relate. I could empathize to some degree, but I can't relate because you're that awesome. That's it. It's what it is. It's what it is. So that's pretty much and then this is it. This is the episode. This is the one that we're gonna close out the year. And you've been amazing. Gutter's been amazing. Definitely hosting. You've hosted the channel a couple of times. You've been the one behind the video production, and I don't know. I definitely want to mention it here. Most people do not know you're the one behind the video production of this platform, Twitch and the Facebook Lives and all that stuff. You are the one that does that. Daniela does all that. So if you didn't know, she's the one putting that work in the background, doing all that stuff with the transitions and all that stuff. That's all Daniela. I don't have to think about it, and it's a blessing. It is absolutely great. So I appreciate you so much. And yeah, so we can definitely talk about game of the year stuff. What stuck out for you this year for game of the year?
Oh boy. Um, Man, I want to say Near Automata
Okay.
is my game of the year. Um, it's definitely one that I want to continue going back, and I haven't been able to recently. I started to because I had like 26 different endings. I still only have only unlocked 5 or 6 of those endings. And so I should go back and play it again. But it was so good. Replay value was so high. Um, it's not exactly like well, it is like a new experience every time you play from it because it's a different perspective that you're playing from, and the music is so good.
Mm,
So that's my game of the year.
okay.
Yours is gonna be Destiny.
No, it's actually going to be Puzzle Fighter.
What? Really?
Yeah, I don't want it to be Destiny. That's so, predictable. I enjoy Puzzle Fighter
That
this
is
year. I want to do
so
that.
so left field. Puzzle Fighter Game of the Year. Really? What? Okay.
Yeah,
What makes it your Game of the Year?
because it's one of those games where I've always enjoyed playing on the platforms. I don't know if it was like a Super Nintendo or those platforms that the retro systems that it came out on. And I was joking about that on Twitter when someone said, what game this year really made an impact on you and why? And I was like, Puzzle Fighter was dope. I mean, Paladins was dope. I mean, Street Fighter's always dope. Destiny's obvious, right? I love Destiny for sure. But yeah, I'm gonna do Puzzle Fighter. This is my number one. And then Destiny, like neck and neck, right there.
All right. Well, Rob says his Game of the Year is Hellblade, and you know what? My first instinct was to go with Hellblade. It was a really amazing game to play, but it doesn't have the replayability to me as Nier does. Like I played through it that one time. It was amazing. I mean, I guess if I really am like a trophy hunter, yeah, I'd go back and play Hellblade. But it was just kind of, it's one of those games where I'll play that one time and if I play it again, I will not have that same impact and the same feeling. So I want to submit my single playthrough as and that experience. I remembered that experience from it and hold that. But the replayability of Nier Automata is what cemented for me as Game of the Year.
Yeah, that game looked absolutely amazing. I think they had a demo that came out, right? I think I played a little bit of that.
Oh, it's good. You should
That
just
was
play the
really,
whole thing.
it was really good.
I
And I
know.
think what is it? Overwatch right now is like half off, and I think PlayStation is sending out like an email coupon or something like that. I think I saw in my email there was a coupon there. I'm tempted, so tempted.
Oh, you're not alone. I am too, and I'm trying to resist because I know I don't have the time for it. I can't. I cannot add another. I'm almost like taking a strong stance for myself personally to not add a game like that. Like I don't know. I know there's a
Like an
genre for it,
ongoing
but
game,
yeah, it's an
ongoing game.
ongoing game that really has. There's no story. It just keeps going and on and on and on. Um, and I already have PUBG and Fortnite for that. I don't want to add to that. I can't add to that. I need to work on this insane backlog of mine and start working and chiseling out. That is like, okay, that is a good one. We'll just add this to the list here. What is your goals for 2018?
What is
Yeah.
okay? That's I don't stretch them out that far in advance. I think my goal is to be more vocal about my truths. Personally, when it comes to sharing content on social media, I think I want to be more vocal about that. I think that, like, even maybe a couple of weeks ago, I was telling you that, there was a day I woke up, I felt like, what have I done or contributed to this world of gaming, quote unquote, community? And if I disappear, would anybody miss me? It was weird, right?
That
So
is
I had
really
that.
deep.
Yeah, yeah, it was weird. And then I was like, like what is it about, what I do, what I say really matter? Like seriously. Like, why do people listen to the show? Why do they care? Why do they download the next one or the next one or whatever? So I had that whole phase, and you know that imposter syndrome phase, that kind of a thing. So I think that just to be more vocal about what I believe in, and I think that I've had a couple of um, I guess platforms to do that, whether it's building relationships or being better about sharing content, being a better representative of whatever I'm a representative of, in this community and this gaming thing, and I don't know. I mean, just like you mean different things to different people, and I don't know what those things are, and I'm curious to know, but I may never know. You know, it's that kind of a thing. So I struggle with that sometimes, and I think the perception of who is Daniela and who is Uriah, who is that kind of a thing. I always think about. So I think just being honest with my truths and sharing them more often. I think that that's really one of the things I need to do. So that's a personal goal. Reading more. I definitely love to read. So I definitely want to do a little bit more of that. I'm working through a book right now. Minimalism, which is a great book. Essentialism. I'm sorry, minimalism. We did away with that already. Essentialism. Working through that, which is an amazing book. I definitely want to read Tribe. Seth Godin has some great books, so I want to read him. And I think there's another guy, Tim Ferriss. He has some good books. So personal investment I think is always good, and I think that yeah, a brand building for sure. Between me and you, merging of ideas and sharing ideas and those things. I think so personally, psychologically, brand building is some of the things I'm really focused on for 2018, and just building on conversations that we already had with different individuals and all the people that took the time to invest in us this year, all the companies, all the products, all the reviews, all the all those things which keep coming even at the tail end of 2017. They're still coming, and that's a blessing, and we don't take those things lightly. So just being honest with who we are individually and collectively, I think that's my thing.
You don't look that far, and that sounds pretty elaborate. Um, oh man, this thing. It's interesting that you say trying to figure out, who Andrew is and who Daniela is. I think I'm almost kind of doing the opposite of that in a way. I think over the last several years, I have been trying to kind of figure that out myself and trying to mold and create who I am. And it feels like it just kind of made me in a way more stressed out about stuff. Kind of I'm like in this weird transition thinking about who I started off 2000 as and who I'm ending it as, and when I in a sense stop, I guess, caring about my image so much, I feel like I became more of who I was meant to be in a weird way. It's kind of like how you grow older and the more that you learn, the more you realize you know nothing. Like,
Absolutely.
and I think that's the way it should be. I don't think, I want to have less expectations of myself and just allow me grow to become who I am based off of my actions of who I am. And essentially for 2018, I want to do more and contribute more to the community. And it's not just so that I feel better. It feels good to help people no matter
Absolutely.
how big and how small. And I think it's through those people who help define who we are. And and it's interesting that you also bring up that if you died, like, will people, remember you or know of you? And I think it's through helping those people and leaving those lasting impressions. It's not so much like the work that we put in, but the message that we leave with people that we help along the way.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
I want that. I want to be able to, for me individually, for us together, to be able to reach out and leave a good lasting impression and memory on people about who we are, who I am, who you are. And that makes a huge difference. And I'm not sure what it is that we're going to be doing, and for who we're going to be doing it for. I think those people come into our lives at unexpected moment for whatever reason it is, and I am ready and willing and here for when that happens. Um,
Absolutely.
so that's kind of where I'm at, and that can go for work, that can go for the radio, that can go for our personal lives, however way, whatever means and medium that it comes across. And I think I'm just gonna just let go and not try to have so much control. I think a great majority of my life is always feeling like I need to be in control of what is happening. And that can be so incredibly stressful and so miserable when you try to have every little bit of your life accounted for and and set and scheduled. Like I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. And no,
Go
you
ahead.
can't do that anymore. And no, go ahead. Finish. Go ahead.
No, no, no. I want to hear what you have to say.
No, because I was just thinking about even the way that we speak about things now has changed in 9 months. I would say that the way I think about different things now, because of the perspective that you've brought on, that has changed. The way I express different thoughts, ideals, opinions, that has changed. Um, asserting different things that I didn't necessarily assert before, according to whatever conversation we were having, or whatever debate, or whatever stance that we had, with certain things. I think that has changed too. So even that, in and of itself, is interesting. um, and and I really don't get a lot of quote unquote clapbacks on things that I say. I don't know if it's because I do both sides, and I kind of lean on one, and I think that's fair assessments. But I never really get people. I totally disagree with everything that you said in this particular segment or anything. And that's always weird to me. And it's over a couple of hundred at this point episodes that it's rare that I get somebody. You know what? I didn't agree at all. And I
Mhm.
think that I don't think I play it safe though. I think I'm pretty one way or another when it comes to a lot of things. So I don't know. That's always interesting to me. But I think that you've allowed me to see a lot of different things by way of perspective, just for the fact that um, you're here and we're different. And I think that has allowed me to see things differently and be more sensitive to a lot of things that I wasn't necessarily more sensitive to now than I was before. And I think that's great, for the conversation. And I think people see that as well. But I maybe I'm not speaking for them, but I think I've gotten that, so it's interesting. I'm happy about that.
I think I'm appreciative for not getting those clapbacks more because even in our opinions on things, I don't think we're really that biased. I think we give a good foundation as to why we feel a way towards something. And when it's a pretty solid reasoning, it's not like, "Oh, I don't like this just because I don't like this." It's not
Mm,
like we ever do that. I don't think we do. It's kind of hard to say like, "Hey, I really don't like your opinion on this because you gave this poor excuse for this." I don't think we ever give that. I don't think we give people a reason to. Although I do welcome if you do disagree with something I say. I do welcome that. I do welcome conversations and discussions, and I don't mind ever discussing them and talking with people about why you disagree with me. And more often than not, I'd rather hear the disagreements than you agreeing with me because those differences is what helps people grow and will help me better understand and open up my mind. And, I can't say no to that.
right, right. Hundreds in the chat says, I'm sure 2018 is going to be a year that TSR is going to boom and expand exponentially. That's an interesting statement. That's an interesting statement. Okay, I didn't think that we're gonna have anything towards the end of the show, but that's interesting that you brought that up. I would like that, but at the same time, I want to be ready for that. Right? It sounds great. It's great aspirations. It's one that I really would love to happen, but at the same time, I want to be ready for that. Right? Because I don't my fear, if any, has always been, I never want to change as I grow, right? Definitely in God's hands. I believe He'll make me ready for sure. I agree. But I definitely want to be. I mean, you can't be the same guy, right? Because you're still growing inside,
Mm-hmm.
inside out, right? Or gal. So, and everybody in between in the world that we live in. I'm not trying to offend anybody when I say guy or gal. So throwing it out, just putting it out there. But I really want to be in a place where um, the weight of responsibility for that growth, is there, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
know you're gonna check me if I start getting really prideful about the things that we achieve and the things that we accomplish and the things that we get. And I don't think I'm overly, um, you know, shallow about the things that has happened this year, 2017, the things we got, the places that we are able to get for press and stuff like that. Or whatever. I don't think I'm overly flashy about that stuff. I think hopefully, it's an encouragement to the individuals that if we can do everything we've done with only two people, like put that into perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I think that should encourage somebody to do more. Like when I say we've only done 300 and something episodes, to a lot of people they were like, "What do you mean only 300 and something episodes?" Because I dumb down, which I shouldn't, the accomplishments that we've had already. Um, I don't know. I do that. I realize that I do that. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to set the person in a place where they're okay, even though I know it's a big deal. But I don't want to say it's a big deal because it looks like it, then it's arrogant and cocky at this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
find the right balance of it's yeah, it's only a couple of hundred episodes or maybe yeah, just starting out. What do you mean just starting out? We just recorded 350. What do you mean 350 is not just starting out? So we have that conversation. Be like, stop. So I'm working through that whole thing. So uh I definitely want to be at a place where whatever growth takes place for the Twitch channel, for the show, for Daniela, for me, for both of us, or whatever, I definitely want to make sure that our mindset is in a place where we're humble about the stuff that's taking place.
I guess the way that I think about it is obviously it would be nice and it would be a great thing to grow and expand and I guess be well no we can't say that to not be recognized because we are recognized. Um, but I wanted to get to the point where we don't realize that we got to that big boom, I guess, and that big notoriety. I like that gradual build because I don't know how if suddenly I don't know for whatever reason just something really huge happens and it's like kind of just super crazy. Like I don't want that overnight success.
Mm,
I like that growing and that experience and learning climb. I don't know what
okay.
I would do if it was like overnight. I think I don't know.
So I definitely want you to answer this question, Daniela. In the chat, Hunter says, "What is the short term and long term goals of the show radio?" Now, you want me to take that first, and then oh, how you want to do that?
Yeah, you take that first.
Okay, so the short term goal has always been to impact one individual who listens to the show, whether that's interact with it in the written form, the audio form, and the video form, right? The long term growth or goal has always been to leave a lasting impact to inspire somebody to create their own platform, right? And I think that I've seen both of those things take place, right? Where someone who didn't necessarily care about tech gaming and entertainment and the way we actually brought the conversation started listening on a regular basis. And we see that based on the numbers, and they were crazy this year, right? For us, for in the context of just speaking, I don't look at anybody's stuff. I don't necessarily pay attention to them. I say congrats when I see stuff, but I don't necessarily pay attention to them. So my thing has always been, if I can help one person, that's always going to be a thing for me. Somebody will slide in a DM or slide in a message, be like, "Hey, what happened with this or what happened with that?" I've slid into DMs and slid into, and be like, "Hey, you got an email for this person?" That I've done it. I'm just, hey, but at the same time, the growth has always been there to happen for me. So that's pretty much how I look at that. Daniela, what are your thoughts on that?
So mine pretty much it's almost mirroring the same thing. So for me on my side, because I do handle I guess the visual side of things, my short term goal is that every week or even at least every month that there is some small improvement. There's some change, some quality of life thing on our end and on your end, listeners and viewers, that improves your enjoyment of our show. And usually that consists of me, for me personally, just learning something different and bringing that knowledge and bringing what I learned to the table for anyone to learn about, to know about. And that kind of mirrors how he says like affecting and improving somebody's life and helping somebody one person at a time. It's I think for the both of us, I can safely say that's just wanting to bring positivity into the world. How we do that, I'm not too sure. I think it's always changing. That's something that's always growing, and it's interesting to watch how that is coming into fruition.
Right. So
Long
so
term growth. Oh, go ahead.
so okay. So do long term, and I got a comment about you actually, but go ahead.
Long term goals is something that I take. I guess this one's far more personal for me. And it has to do because I am a mom of a 14-year-old. And I want him to know, I want peers and the generations within his generation to know that if you work hard enough, you put in the effort, that you can obtain so many different dreams. And when I was his age, I didn't have exactly the same type of opportunities. I didn't know where to look. I didn't know what to do. So I did find myself falling into the career that I have now and as an electronic technician, and it's a good job, sure. And it pays well, but it doesn't make me happy. It doesn't. But doing, doing the podcast, doing my streaming, that is where my joy, that's where my happiness comes from. So I want my son to know, I want people in his generation to know that you don't have to fall into what, society or your parents are pushing you into because it's a lucrative job. Find something that you enjoy doing it. And if you happen to have a partner, like I'm lucky enough to have Andrew, to help you obtain those dreams, it's okay too. Find somebody that's willing to work with you and work just as hard and offer just as much as you do into the world that will not only make the world a better place, but make you a happier person, no matter what that is. And that is, like, I feel the show radio does that, because I I wouldn't be able to be doing this if I didn't enjoy it. Andrew sure as wouldn't be doing 380 plus episodes if he wasn't enjoying himself. But the little things in life can make you so happy, and being able to bring people on that I've gotten to meet over this past year, find out about their lives, even though you're learning about somebody else, can add so much value into your own. And that's kind of like my personal long-term goal as far as being a part of the show radio.
Word. All right. So take the beginning of the year, right? So um, when Danielle and I first started doing the show, she didn't openly, welcomingly receive compliments.
I still don't.
You're better. You're better though. 9 months in, right? 9 months in, it's a different experience, right? Because it was like, these are the things that I see. These are the things that um, I see in you. These are the things that I appreciate, and I'm gonna let you know. I mean, you don't want to work with somebody that doesn't tell you the things that you're doing, well. That they only tell you the things that you're doing horrible. You'll never hear me say the things that Danielle is doing horrible, if there is something. It won't be on the mic, that's for sure. That's definitely a conversation we're gonna have somewhere else, and vice versa. But it's a team effort, right? So if I'm praising you publicly, and let's say, quote unquote, by way of an example, I rebuke privately, it's gonna make the person trust me, you know, at times that they need to trust me, which is most of the time, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we make sure that even the relationship dynamic is strong, even its foundation, where it sounds like I'm free flowing and I'm freestyling on the mic, but I'm very aware of what I'm saying, especially as it relates to it. Even if it's a conversation that we had off the mic that I bring on the mic, I'm very careful how I craft it to the public, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that builds trust even without saying, hey, are we building trust here? I don't need a banner to say that we're building trust here. Even in a conversation that we've had offline that I brought online, the way I craft it, you can tell that I really care about, privacy and, different conversations, even the way I bring it up. So even those dynamics and sharing kind words that you actually mean, and all those different things, I think has elevated our relationship to what it is now. And people see that, and people tell me that they see that, and it's a good thing.
Gosh, you make me blush.
It's true. It is what it is. Any other questions, human resources person? In the-
Thank you, hundreds. And she also says you can tell you're achieving your goals when you have regulars come to broadcast of the show and or if they promote it too. And we appreciate that. We appreciate all of the support.
Absolutely.
Every retweet, every like, everything that anybody ever does for us, it's huge. No matter how big or how small, it is huge and it means a lot to us. It helps us so much. And I
Okay.
appreciate
I'll
that.
say this. I'm kind of like I know, family time and all that stuff is very important. Absolutely. But it's going to be weird not recording the next, what, 2 Sundays?
Yeah, the next 2 Sundays.
And although I can record and I may try to do something, it feels weird not recording with Daniela. It does. It feels weird not recording with you. Like, I'm like, I can grab someone else, if they're willing, whoever it is, be like, hey, let's record about whatever happened the week of the 18th of December for this upcoming Sunday and then releases on Sunday. I could probably do that, but it's not the same, right? Because it's not home base. It's definitely someone I'm gonna know, but it's definitely not the same. So, but understanding that we have set aside time for us to really appreciate and think about what we're doing here, and that even builds it even better when we come back to rock the mic to do whatever we have to do. So,
Yep. And that time also makes you appreciate. I appreciate Sundays more. Just yeah, it is gonna be weird, but we're ending the year so well. We are.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
we come
So,
back refreshed for 2018. We'll be back on January 7th.
word, that's Sunday. Okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Word, man, that's so far away. That feels like a long time, man.
With Christmas and the New Year's, it's gonna be so fast. I feel it is. Like these last 3 days with my family has gone by so quickly.
So this is a season of deals and stuff, right? So nothing is really gonna happen this week, right?
No, I
Nothing
don't
crazy.
think so.
I don't know. I'll
I don't
figure
think
something out.
there's anything planned. I mean, the gaming industry doesn't necessarily sleep, but man, you got to take a little bit of a break. A little bit.
Yeah, we'll
I
see.
miss
Three.
streaming too. I miss just streaming generally overall. I've been so bad on that this past week.
So
Is
jump
it bad
on.
if I
You
tell my?
blame it.
Well, okay, I can probably do that today. Maybe I don't know. It's really hard because my family understands that I stream, and they do it, but at the same time they don't understand because they'll be like, "Well, can't you just tell them that you have family?" I'm like, yeah, I do, and they will respect that, and my viewers do understand that. But at the same time, it's like, but I miss it.
How was the
I
east
miss
side?
it.
East side, is that me or is that you? No Mass No More is asking.
No, I would say that would be you.
East side. It was cold. It was icy. Today was about what was it, 34? Probably was the high. I got 4-wheel drive on my little sedan, so I was able to make it out to church. Did what I had to do. Uploaded the sermons. Came back home. Got ready for 383, and here we are.
Anyway,
Ate some pasta and had some granola bars.
if you guys want after this show, we can have a Q&A. We can stay a little bit longer after the show too. If you guys want to talk story.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm definitely here. So yeah, Daniela, farewell. Yeah, we can hang. We can hang if you guys hang. We can hang. We can answer any random question. You know, to some degree,
To some degree.
depending on how random they could be. But definitely, Daniela, it's been an absolute pleasure and honor to work with you for sure this year, and I look forward to many more months and years with you, if that is God's will. And yeah, definitely close us out, Daniela.
So, being our last recorded episode for 2017, from Andrew and I, thank you to everybody who's tuned in live, downloaded us from all your favorite podcatchers. Thank you so much, and we appreciate your support, and just making our 2017 amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, And you know what? If you're new to the show, you can always subscribe to us on your favorite podcatchers by visiting www.theshowradio.info/listen. Definitely, if you check out and visit our Twitch, you can follow us, and we still have our webcam giveaway. So when we hit 150 followers, we will have a special stream on that day. And anybody who is live in the chat with us, two winners will each win one C922 Logitech webcam. So that's awesome. And for any additional information, you can visit our website at theshowradio.info, and you can follow Andrew and I on Twitter. Andrew will be at Uriah, Uriyya, and you can follow me at Miss DJM. So thank you again for downloading and tuning in live. Happy holidays and a happy new year to you.
I saw the
Yay.
dance.
I don't know where the dance comes from.
Thanks so much, guys.
It
Appreciate
is.
it.
And if anybody has any other questions, feel free.
Do you want to keep audio going?
Yeah, we can keep the audio going if you want to. I don't mind. I'll just let it go.
Word.
But I hang out live. Play Path of Exile. Ah, man, that's another game I kind of forgot about. What are your plans for the new year?
Daniela, what are your plans for the new year?
Interesting enough, over here we do have fireworks on the south side, but they do not go off at midnight. I don't think there's actual fireworks that go off at midnight. I think they go off at like 9. So we go and watch those fireworks, and then we go home. And I think I don't know what it is that's going to be different because my best friend is here visiting. So I think I have to coordinate with her about if we're combining both their families. Because she is staying with her parents. She's staying with her parents on the east side. And her parents are like my third set of parents. So I'm not fully sure about what we're doing when it hits midnight. I know we're going to just see fireworks earlier in the evening. Every year, me and my son will pack up quite literally a picnic basket and blankets, and we set it outside, out on the beach, and we watch the fireworks. I heard, oh, really? Well, then on No Mas No More lives on Kauai as well. I'm not too, I guess I didn't know that Poipu was not going to be having fireworks. If it's at the stadium, I have to rethink this because that stadium, I swear, if there's a fire, we would all die in it. Because it's pretty packed. It's pretty crazy, and I feel like as nice as Kauai can be, I think in panic situations, I'm not too sure if I can trust my peers and those other people to be calm and collected to leave. I really can't. And the thing is, it's like out in this open field. It's not like it's in a building, but it's so jam packed. I'm not too sure. Now I have to go and think of this.
You might have to change your plans.
I might have to if that's the deal. As we did already. Oh, we kind of did. Okay, so Iniki was the last hurricane that was in Hawaii. And that was a little bit crazy. I don't know. I guess it was okay. I do remember during that Hurricane Iniki of my uncles going to get and refill their propane tanks. And remember there being fights. So I'm not too sure if we were that all right. But what are your plans for New Year's, Andrew?
Between now and New Year's. All right. So the way we have it laid out now, Christmas Day falls on Monday, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that Sunday, we're driving up to the Poconos for a couple of days. We're probably going to come back, let me see, 27, 28, right? My sister is going to be in town from Georgia, so I'm going to see her. We're probably going to eat at my aunt's somewhere between Thursday and Saturday, I think, something like that. So I'll probably end up at my in-laws for New Year's, but between PA and Queens prior to that. I think that's what we're thinking about right now. So we're gonna go up for a couple of days, enjoy the Poconos, come back down midweek, link up with my sister, hang out with my aunt, eat some food, And then I usually bring in the new year in church. The last maybe 10 plus years, we've always done it in church. So from the night before into the new year, I'm usually in the sanctuary. So that's pretty much how we bring it in every year, the last 10 plus years. So that's probably going to happen. And that day, that falls on a Monday, right? From 31 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably end up at my other aunt's house. My good friend, Greg, his mom is Haitian. She usually does Haitian food. We're Haitian too. I am. My wife is mixed Spanish and all that stuff. Um, and so she's probably going to do Haitian soup, Haitian chocolate at Greg's mom's house. So I'll probably do that either first or second. If she doesn't do it on the first, which I'd be weird, she might do soup there on Monday. If she doesn't do it then, she'll probably do it the following Sunday, or she may do it on the 31st. So that's pretty much what's happening there.
You have like
Uh,
the most elaborate plans. Like I'm just like winging it every day. I don't really have much of a choice in the matter. I mean, I kind of do and I kind of don't. But
no,
I
but
like
she
to
can
hear
do
what
it too.
everybody else is. What are your guys' plans for like Christmas and New Year's? Because Christmas is always an interesting. When it comes to holidays, is interesting for my son because I'm not with his dad, so our agreements is that we split holidays, and usually my ex husband will have my son from the night before. So Christmas Eve night, my son will be over there, and we don't traditionally in my family, we've never been like that wake up first thing in the morning open presents because my people in my family are not morning people. We wake up early because we have to, but we're not morning people. Like Thanksgiving and Christmas is always celebrated in the evenings. And so my son will probably stay with his dad till maybe about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And by that time, it's plenty of time because I can spend the time, take my time waking up and spend like lunchtime cooking our dinner. And then we do whole dinner and presents openings. The difference is this year is that my boyfriend has his birthday is on Christmas.
Nice.
And he's started a new job. And when you start a new job, it's not like you can have the preference of one you can have all. So he might be stuck working Christmas.
Oof.
And that's a sad thing because I think they're 12-hour shifts. Um, but it will definitely be spent, hopefully, switching in between delivering presents. Sometimes I like delivering presents on Christmas Day because then I get to watch the kids and the people I bought presents for and opening it. I've always enjoyed more giving than receiving. And you know the best part is? The best part about having friends who have kids now is that it's fully justified if I just don't buy them anything. Because it's so much harder to buy presents for adults. And it's like, I don't know what to get you. You have a job and you can buy whatever you want. I don't know what to get you. Here's a hug. Whereas now you have kids. It's like, look, you got kids. I bought them for your kids. I love your kids. Here you go. And it's so much easier to shop for your little children because you can give them anything. If they're 2 and younger, you just put a bow on a cardboard box, maybe draw something on it, they're set.
Mm.
And they're happy. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to just give them a cardboard box, but most of the time, they enjoy the cardboard box that I put their presents in more than their actual presents, amazingly. But 100 says, for Christmas for me, we always celebrate on Christmas Eve, so we'll be up at my dad's for New Year's. I'm hoping fiance will be here. Oh, I hope he'll be there for you too.
Word.
Rough Christmas Eve with my cousin and her kids. The youngest is 16. We'll be over Christmas Day, nothing much but watching football.
Nice.
That
It could
sounds
be a
like
little
really
bit
good.
of that. A couple of channels here and there. Question earlier: what are we all going to be playing? Daniela, what are you playing in
My
2018?
backlog from probably 2015.
Oof.
Um, no, oh man, I know that there were some games that were coming out in January. Well, Nino Kuni was one, but that got pushed back to March.
Mm-hmm.
I could have sworn there was another game coming out in January too. I can't remember. I know on the list is, oh, Monster Hunter World. Doesn't that come out in January?
Yes, it does.
So there's that, and probably Nino Kuni. Detroit.
Become Human.
Yep.
That's January.
No, no, no. Just 2018 in general.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be insane. That game.
I'm no. Oh, oh. Secret of Mana, the remake of Secret of Mana. That's
Word.
definitely that's coming out in January too. So that's where my gaming will be. And I'm trying so hard to limit myself on all other games.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting 2018 because I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna tackle events. I know I'll probably still be doing the pepcoms and stuff like that. You know, I've never really done CES, which is in January and stuff. Definitely looking for like sponsorship to attend some of these events, so you don't always come out of pocket when you have to pay for the airfare and stuff like that. I guess that's just how I'm thinking about it now. But yeah, 2018, I'm pretty predictable when it comes to games now. Um, my friends make fun of me that, dude, we still have to buy games. We know you don't do that anymore, but we still have to buy games. I'm like, that's not right, man. I mean, I may have to buy a game in 2018. I don't know. It may happen, you know. But you got the Street Fighter DLC stuff coming out. You have what else? What else is happening? You mentioned Nino Kuni, which I definitely wanted to try the first one because I heard that series is really good. Mobile games are in full effect. That's really happening. Personal goals in 2018, Daniela.
Be more consistent with my streaming.
Word. What, like 3 to 5 days, or what are you thinking?
At least 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, like personal goals. I guess man, it's so hard with personal goals because I don't want to set myself up to fail. I have to try to be
Yeah.
realistic here. I want to
Yeah. If
travel
you
more.
right.
That's it. I
You want
don't
to do what?
travel, travel a bit
Travel.
more.
Yeah.
But personal goals, man, I want to be more strict on, um, I guess my time management. I think
Mm.
I found my on some personal things, I've been too laxed on stuff where I will justify not doing something over something else, and I need to find that balance in my time management overall
Mm-hmm,
because I
mm-hmm.
will fall into that thing. It's like, well, it's okay if I don't do this one thing because I'll be spending time with my son doing this. Where realistically, I can do both. Like during, I can get some certain things done because at this moment, my son's doing his homework. I don't need to hold his hand and make sure he's doing his homework. I don't need a helicopter over him doing it. But I feel like we do so much in our lives that I almost feel like I have to take care or take advantage of every second that I can, but he does need his own space because he's getting to that age where it's like he shouldn't have to need his mom around him 24/7.
Mm.
So it's more of personal goals is just managing my time so much better than what I do now.
Yeah. Do you do the calendar stuff or no?
I do, and I try to, and I don't know. Sometimes it works for me and sometimes it works against me because, as nice as it is to see a calendar and to see like it's scheduled out, I have so much that it feels overwhelming and I panic. I'm like, oh my God, there's so much to do and I don't have enough time. And I'm like, I do have enough time. I almost kind of don't want to see it. Like if I just let myself naturally remember and just tackle it one at a time rather than seeing this giant to do list, is a whole lot less stressful. But then it doesn't help me at the same time. It's a weird balance.
Hmm.
I'll get
So
there.
marriage is good. Marriage is a great thing. Having now been married for 17 years, which a lot of people don't believe me when I say that. It's definitely has its up and downs. I have my moments. It's me, not my wife. It's me. Like even yesterday, I was, according to my wife, distant, and I was trying to figure out what my mind space was, where I was at, and like even when I was trying to sleep last night, I barely got any sleep, which was interesting. I was just staring at the ceiling for most of the night, and I had to wake up at 6, which was interesting. So that whole thing. So just trying to be better and communicating to people, locally as well as globally, right? So it's one thing for me to share my thoughts on a microphone and not necessarily be as concerned where it lands, but it's another thing to take that same casting of a net to do that at home. So that's been interesting for me as well. But I think even when I think about it now, what podcasting has allowed me to do since 2009 is to really share my thoughts openly in a coherent fashion. Um, being happier, according to what you're saying in the chat, there's definitely steps you can do that. I think happiness is temporal, right? Joy is a whole nother thing, right? And I definitely want to make sure that the people around me are people that I want to have around me, so that I can really help with um, your your sense of being, psychologically, emotionally, and all those things. That really plays a factor. Um, even in different relationships, whether it's work relationships or personal relationships, you want those to be non-toxic, right? As possible. As far as educational goals, based on what you're saying in the chat, I have those too, but they're not as in the forefront of my mind now, even though they should be. So that's definitely stay encouraged in that department for sure. um, Daniela?
Okay, so congrats, no mas no more, for going to Japan in May. I'm jealous, like super
That's the
jealous. Okay, so don't mind where I'm gonna go with this conversation. It's very funny that you bring that up, Hundred. It's really, really funny. When my best friends come home, or when I get to go and see them, we always have like almost this yearly or bi-yearly like conversations that get really, really deep, and we always learn something new. And I think that's the greatest thing about having lifetime best friends. It's just like they pretty much are when I say family, that usually most of the time it is them, and there is no blood relations, but they are my family. And it's so much fun to have those people if you're lucky enough to have them to grow with, to grow up with. um but one of the key things that I always feel, and I'm coming to learn, of being happier isn't necessarily the things that you do or accomplish. Those provide you temporary happiness. But communication and working on your communication with everyone in your life, whether they be temporary or permanent people in your life, is a huge thing to that happiness. And the thing that I'm working on, and I have been working on, is the trust in communication. And I've learned this through my current relationship right now, is that sometimes, couples, and especially new ones, they have arguments, and it has to do with like how something was received. And it was brought to my attention. It's like, hey, your friends say this, and I've said it before, but you've gotten upset at me, but you didn't get upset at them. And I had to rethink and reevaluate that in this recent conversation that we had with my best friends, is that it's that trust, is that there's three key things in communications when you're talking with someone, especially someone that's really close to you, is that the expectations, assumptions, and trust. When you're talking to someone, you have to have no expectations about what they mean in their tone. Listen to their words, not their tone. Don't make assumptions about what their tone may mean, because it could be something completely different that you don't know about. And to trust, to know that the person that you're talking to would never be that cruel. And if you can have those three things, you'll be a whole lot more at peace, because you're not expecting that, okay, this person's saying this, they must mean this, because it leads to these assumptions that make you go crazy thinking about, what could they mean? Why would they be mean to that? What that? And it all because you trust that these people would never intentionally hurt you. That not every person will have ill intentions. It's just having that trust. And when you can have that, it makes your life so much more peaceful, which makes you happier, because it's one less thing to worry about. And that is something that I'm still working on. And it's not something that's going to happen overnight, but it's just something to always keep in the back of your mind. And that's my philosophy. And going in deep over there.
Nice. Um, yeah, I got some more thoughts.
Go
What do you
ahead.
got going in the chat?
Oh, okay. So hundreds. I definitely feel that my happiness has expanded, especially with my new job. All within the first 9 months of this year, I was miserable with my job. Now, not even a month in, I've grown to be happy to wake up and go to work. No mas no more is I gotta go to a family dinner. Check you all out in the new year. Oh, Danny can bring your son, boyfriend, and best friend to me and DM me on Twitter. Let me know. Would love to meet you in IRL. Have a happy. Oh, okay. All right. Enjoy your family dinner. No mas no more.
Eat some good food. Send some recipes over this way. Absolutely. Okay, so yeah, the trust thing is huge. Okay, so my thing this year, I think another personal goal of mine is in 2018 is to meet people from Twitch that I've known for quite some time. Now, I mean, that's a dope goal. Hundreds. That's really dope. Um, the thing that really helped me out was being more self-aware of who I am in terms of what I like and what I don't like. I think this year and last year was the beginning of me actually writing down, if you want to say that, in my mind what I like, what I do not like, whether that's in conversation or whether that's in food, and really identifying those things. Do I like going out with this person? No, I don't. So why do I keep doing that? Okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. Do I enjoy talking with this person? No, I don't. So why do I still have a conversation with them? Is there a reason why they're inviting me back to their stuff and I haven't told them that I don't want to go? Why have I not done that? So really identifying those things, and if I'm preparing to cut somebody off from my life, or just to make sure that my phone doesn't ring all the time and I'm not driving everywhere for everybody, but they don't drive in my direction. Looking for like reciprocal type of relationships even now, that kind of a thing. So self awareness. My point is self awareness has been really, really big for me the last 2 years. Just being aware of what I like, what I don't like, even on social media, what I entertain, what I do not entertain, what I vocalize, what I do not vocalize. And I think that has helped me get to a place where um, I'm as predictable as I am. Because Daniela could tell you to some degree I'm pretty predictable, with the exception of the recent email I sent her. But outside of that, pretty I'm pretty predictable, right? And that's great. You want that. And I think that those are the things that I've been really focusing on this year. And I talk to the same people, handful, maybe up to 5 people. I could count the people I really talk to on one hand, and that's it. I do not go a lot of places. I like being home. Obviously, I like podcasting, and those things are common knowledge at this point. But I don't like to go a lot of places, especially if I know it's going to be a weird environment, right? I don't like to subject myself around people just to be in company, and it's not even company I want to keep. So all those different things, I think that self awareness has really been big for me the last 2 years, 2017, 2016, 2017, middle 2016, which I shared with Daniela, that had some bumpy roads in 2016. Could have been crazy. Could have been really left in 2016, but somehow that got ironed out. So I thank God for that. But there's conversations we probably wouldn't be having now if 2016 went left. I'll just leave it there. It could have been crazy, but self awareness is really important.
Those deep conversations here.
It is.
But yeah, if you guys don't have any other questions, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We're gonna miss you guys.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Love you guys for sure. Thanks for always supporting.
And hi,
And
Tiger. Sorry.
it's all good. Peace out. Yeah, it's always good. Thanks so much for the support. And yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we do still have Discord. A lot of like, okay, I don't know. I'm gonna try to work. I'm gonna try to find some times because I want to upgrade some or update some stuff and see where we're at on the graphics and the overlays and all those other pretty things.
Nice.
Try to work on overstream a bit more. This thing is fun
Enjoy.
to have.
Family first.
All right. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you guys all later.